Hi, I'm Latangela Faye, and this is the Louisiana Film Channel's Wednesday Night at the Movies. The Louisiana Film Channel is a new entertainment service officially launching December 1st. Louisiana Film Channel will be available on all devices and showcasing Louisiana films, filmmakers, and our unique lifestyles. If you're a filmmaker, you can submit your titles by clicking Content Partner on our homepage. For Louisiana lovers across the globe, you can download the app starting December 1st and experience everything Louisiana, from gators to Mardi Gras, the music, food, and culture. Now here's my co-host, Taylor Sharp, with a film entitled With My Soul from Jency Hogan.
Thanks, Latangela. We are joined now by Jency Hogan, producer and director of the film With My Soul. Jency, welcome to the Louisiana Film Channel.
Hey, thank
Yeah,
you for having me.
thanks for joining us. So what really got you into filmmaking? I mean, I know that this is a tedious business to be in. Why did you decide to jump in it?
I think ultimately I'm a storyteller. I'm an actress. I've been acting since, I guess I was 18. And I knew that I wanted to tell stories, and you have a lot more control as a filmmaker than you do as an actress. So if you're an actress, you basically wait for the role that could potentially come your way and kind of hope, cross your fingers, pray that you'll get kind of role that you really are going to enjoy. But with producing and directing, you actually have a lot more control over the content that you get to be a part of. And so I started really dreaming up different kind of different kinds of roles that really appeal to me and stuff like that. And so that's actually how I got into producing and directing, because I really wanted to have creative control.
I see. So you like to be in charge of people. I got you.
So pretty much,
Yeah. This film, was this your first filmmaking experience as producer director?
actually, yes, I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. The title of this film, the title of this film, With My Soul, there's a lot of different things I can interpret from that. I think religion when I think of that a little bit. I can also think of suspenseful. Without giving anything away, what can we expect from this film?
This is this has a lot of female, like strong female characters in it. And With My Soul is the song With My Soul is actually in the movie. So yes, you are correct. It does have spiritual kind of overtones. It's about human trafficking during Civil War, and it's about five girls who are human trafficked, and then they're rescued by five very strong nuns and nurses off
Okay,
the battle.
so definitely very heavy religious theme. Run me through the filmmaking process of this. You said this was kind of your first crack in the producer director thing. What went into making this film? Did it take longer than you thought? What was the process like?
Oh, what was really fun was I got to cast a lot of my friends and students and people that I worked with before. And so it was like a bunch of friends making a movie together. And I actually worked with one of my favorite people, Alexander Jeffrey, is my co-director. And at that point in our career, we hadn't worked together before, so we met um, pretty much and worked together for the first time on this project. And then we just finished 6 years later or something like that. We just finished our first feature together, so it really kicked off a long lasting relationship that I think short films can do that. And this particular film was shot in July in the middle of the heat. If you've seen the film, a lot of it takes place in a small um, brown hut, and so we were all like in the heat, in this like excruciating heat together in this hut with the girls and where they were trafficked. And so this is all taking place in St. Francisville, one of my favorite places to shoot because of the beautiful oak trees and the countryside. Um, and there was horses in the film, and so it's just a lot going into this project. And we spent 6 days on a short, which is a very long time for a short film. Um, and so it's just a unique short film. The budget looks way bigger than it was. It had a ton of favors, people that just came by my side and encouraged me to make the story happen. And really, it opened so many doors for me after people saw the film. They're like, "How did you pull that off?" And I'm like, "Well, it has a lot to do with a lot of good people in Louisiana that helped me out, and a lot of friends, and a lot of just TLC from a lot of people."
Well, Jincy, I definitely can't wait to check out the film. As a matter of fact, let's bring it to you right now. Here is With My Soul.
Join the conversation now, live on Twitter. Meet the cast and get the details on Louisiana Film Channel swag. Twitter alert now at hashtag LA Film Channel. Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Latangela Faye. This is Wednesday Night at the Movies, presented by the Louisiana Film Channel. What a great show we've had so far. And now, settle in with your favorite movie snacks, and let's pick up where we left off before the break.
You. Take this one.
No.
No! Don't.
Settled out back.
Well, how much?
More than usual.
Well, good. Let's keep this customer.
One day, I'm gonna bust us out of here.
Stop that crazy talk. You're gonna get us killed.
Crazy is when you wish for something but don't believe enough to see it happen.
There's no way out. You're just scaring the children.
In peace like a river.
Those scriptures are for the wives. For us, there's no God coming.
There is.
What do you see?
White. Tell us about the light. I see an opening.
What good is an opening?
Nahum, chapter 1, verse 13. For I will break off his yoke from you and tear off your shackles.
There has to be something more than just scriptures and beliefs.
There is. If you really believe, you take the risk.
Did you lose somebody out there?
My brother's still in battle. You look like him.
Here. Take this. Let it give you faith. You ever listen to what these girls are saying?
Stay with me.
I'm not gonna die. They're chanting Bible verses. They're calling out prayers to the heavens, asking for protection from us. They think we're evil.
Evil? You want to know what evil is? It's watching your house burn down when your family's in it. That's evil. We're helping people. Those men out there are stuck in a war. We're giving them something they can hold on to, something that feels real.
What if they do have a God and he disapproves of us? What then?
There ain't no God.
It's been a long war. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He maketh me to lie in green pastures. He lead me beside still waters.
If you could be free from this place, what would you do?
If
It doesn't matter.
What doesn't matter?
Whether we're in here or out there, we're still in bondage.
Don't you still have a husband out there who escaped?
Yes. He was a musician. He used to entertain the masters. When the plantation was burning, everyone scattered. I tried to listen for the sound of his flute, and I could hear it in the distance. But these men grabbed me before I could find him.
I would fight for justice.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. It's my wife's favorite song. Trying to locate her.
You must have been out here a while. We have a camp.
No, it's not safe.
We're called to serve all of God's children. Can we bring you anything?
I haven't eaten in days.
Stay here. I'll be right back.
When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, the waves will not sweep over you. When peace like a river attends.
You decided to awaken.
Why are you helping me?
We never did build this place to judge.
I'm growing weary of this war. I must get back to my regiment.
Oh, you're not going anywhere. You need to stay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
With my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. With my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul.
Thank you.
What will you do now?
I have a map. If I can make it to Baltimore through the railroad, I'm gonna join the Union Army. Hopefully I can meet Frederick Douglass.
Well, if you find your wife, we'll take care of her. I know how you feel. I'm looking for my brother.
Her name is Ruth. Give her that for me. You tell her after we win the war, I promise we'll be a family again.
Here. Here's the youngest.
Don't move.
You know, we really do need to think about getting another line of work. I mean, there's talk that there's armies coming up here, and there's gonna be a battle in the town. Frank, if they catch wind of what we're doing, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
You know, you need to worry about doing your job and let me worry about that. What the?
No!
Get back! Ah!
Thomas. Oh, he's got a soldier.
Have you seen my brother?
He's still out there. David's still out there.
Freedom. You know the kind of price a slave has to pay for running. Go. Go before I change my mind.
Hey, good boy. It's okay. We're needed.
Where was she? I lost her. She got away.
Boys, let me out of here.
We need to go get that girl.
Boys, let me out.
Fear not, for I am with you. Be not afraid. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not afraid. Fear not, for I am with you.
And I shall not want. He made me to lie in green pastures. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He maketh me to lie in green pastures. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He made it to lie in green pastures. The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He made it to lie in green pastures.
Join the conversation now, live on Twitter. Meet the cast and get the details on Louisiana Film Channel swag. Twitter alert now at hashtag LA Film Channel. Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Latangela Faye. This is Wednesday Night at the Movies, presented by the Louisiana Film Channel. What a great show we've had so far. And now, settle in with your favorite movie snacks, and let's pick up where we left off before the break.
Welcome back. We are joined once again by Jency Hogan. Jency, very powerful film. It caught my attention from the opening scene, the eerie music playing in the background, all the women lined up against the wall. You're kind of trying to figure out what happened. I love the music in this film. I don't think there was a time in the film where there was not music playing in the background. Was that intentional, and were you trying to evoke certain emotions from the audience?
Well, yes, Greg DeLeo did the soundtrack with my soul. He's an amazing composer. And yeah, I think any kind of good drama has an amazing soundtrack that kind of holds you on the edge of your seat. And so that's kind of what this project needed, that kind of feeling, because it was definitely the girls are in trouble, and then they sing this beautiful song together and they're rescued. So it's just like this really kind of unique story in relation to the music.
Okay, so the film, it takes place during the Civil War time, and one of the women in the film, her husband was a slave, I believe, and he actually ran away to join the Union Army. And then they're in this hut trapped for sex trafficking purposes. What inspired a film like this? Because sex trafficking is definitely a heavy topic. What influenced you with this?
I really felt like human trafficking. There's nothing new under the sun. And I felt like that everybody, at least in 2016 when I made the film, it was kind of like people were just starting to talk about human trafficking openly, and it was becoming a more modern day topic. So I wanted to tackle something along those lines, but I knew that this had been happening for a long time to a lot of women, through just different books I had read and things like that. And so I really felt like it was important to tell this female story that basically there's been suffering like this in the past. And I figured Civil War and wars bring out, a lot of issues like this. So I thought it'd be interesting to set it during the Civil War.
I like how you didn't outright explain everything in the film. Like it kind of kept me guessing. And then later on in the film, I was like, okay, now I'm understanding. Like I wasn't sure the whole time whether the nuns as the military, nurses and doctors, I couldn't tell if that was a flashback or present day. And then finally when one of the girls escapes that hut, I'm like, okay, this is going on at the same time. I really like that because it kept me entertained and really invested into the film. This is also a film that if I watched it 3 times, I could maybe come up with 3 different points of view as to what's actually happening in the film. I feel like a lot of it is left up to interpretation. Was that your goal?
Yes, I mean it is like it's a big cast and a lot of storytelling within a small amount of time. And I think that if I had more time, I could play out the different characters more. And I think I would love to do that in maybe a feature or a television show or something. So one way I look at this project is a way to kind of show you a slice of life and how all these different people's paths intersect. But I think that it was like a huge undertaking to tell this big of a story in like 15 minutes. It was a really big undertaking, and I think it went well. It's just there's a lot of characters to follow it, and I would love to follow up with that in like a feature format.
Yeah, well, I think the characters did well. I thought the acting was actually really strong in here. My favorite thing was the way this film was shot. I mean, I know you said it all took place in St. Francisville. To me, it looked like it could have been 100 different places. I mean, you did a great job of really making each scene look completely different from the one before. I really enjoyed the film overall. Jency, what is next for you as a filmmaker for fans of this film and your work?
Well, my husband and I just made our story. It's a love story called, right now, the working title is Daisy and Smiling Jack, and we shot it all over Baton Rouge. So right now we're in post-production of our first feature. So we've made about eight short films. This was maybe our third one, and so the next step is to make features. And so we plan on being filmmakers here in Louisiana for a very long time. And we just made our first feature, and we plan on making many more.
Well, Jency, you've definitely been busy. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing the film.
I hope you're enjoying our Wednesday night at the movies. I'm Latangela Faye, and each week here on the Louisiana Film Channel, we have a special called Hollywood on the Bayou, produced by our friend and mentor, Ed Poole. I can't wait to see what exciting part of Louisiana film history he has for us this week. Take it away, Ed.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Louisiana Film Channel. And Louisiana, of course, is always known for a lot of great things, but film is the big deal. Now, 100 years ago, if you can believe that, one of the first blockbuster films ever made in the world was made here in Louisiana.
That's right, Leo. We are extremely fortunate to have the special guest with us today here in the studio. And before I introduce him, I just want to say that I hope to gosh a plane doesn't crash on this facility right now, because so much of Louisiana's film history could be lost because it's in this man's head and this woman's head and your head. So again, luckily they've written a couple of books, and we'll get to that.
Good.
But I want to introduce Ed and Susan Poole, authors, historians. I mean, I said it earlier. If he's not Louisiana's official film historian, we got the unofficial film historian.
It's a good thing somebody did this.
That's right, exactly. And so, thankfully, again, we just, like we said, we passed the 100-year anniversary of Tarzan that shot in Morgan City, Louisiana. What year was this?
1918.
1918. And again, I don't know that enough has been,
said about it.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people.
Most people in Louisiana don't even know what happened here.
That's exactly.
So, what did you find in Morgan City?
What did we find there?
Yeah, what did you find? Anything left?
No, there's nothing there. There's no markers. There was a marker put up in 1975. Governor Edwards put one up, but hurricanes basically took that away, damaged it, was destroyed. Nothing is there, unfortunately.
But why did they go there to film it?
Well, at that time, travel, especially overseas, was very limiting. They wanted to make something new. They wanted a place that, a lot of interesting things at the same time. There weren't many places that you could go for African Americans to be able to do and film. None were in major films at the time. Also, all films before that had been done in blackface. But the director, Scott Sidney, said, these were natives. They wanted it being realistic.
Sure.
So they wanted to come down and find a place that actually had that available, the labor available. Then they also needed a swamp. The Atchafalaya Swamp was the largest swamp area in the nation. So he wanted it realistic, something different.
Sure.
This was when national distribution was first getting started, and they really wanted, Tarzan was so famous in books and comic books and everywhere. This was the opportunity to bring it to film.
Wow.
So they chose Morgan City, even though it's advertised everywhere that they filmed in Brazil.
It was not done in Brazil.
It was not done in Brazil. They actually went down and did a couple of Brazilian outtakes just to be able to put in the
Really?
Oh, I see. Okay, so what there was some truth in advertising.
Morgan City also offered railway. sir.
Ah.
Because all this crew was coming from California,
Mhm.
and they needed a cost-effective way of bringing actors and props. And at the time, Morgan City was actually very well developed in that area.
Wow.
So they were right there in the basin with the railroads.
Well, we've been discussing, what it's like making a film in 2018 in Louisiana.
Can you
I can
imagine?
only imagine in 1918, no air condition.
Yes.
I imagine there could be some power issues.
A lot. Now the reports are they had 5 boxcars full of equipment that they brought.
Sure.
Because they had to have all the gorilla costume. They made 30 gorilla costumes. They were just bringing all kinds of equipment because nothing basically was here that they were wanting to shoot like that.
Well, were they running cameras by hand? I mean, was it the hand crank cameras? Do you remember?
I don't believe they were. They should have had the other by
I would
then.
think, yeah.
So that means they did have to bring their own electrical power to be able to do it.
Oh yeah, because they did several. I mean, because they were filming out, they had to have their own power.
Wow.
Now, one of the oddities is when they first did the film, they made it 10 reels. 130 minutes.
Wow.
That's what it was edited to go when they premiered it. Now, in existence, it's been cut down. It did a national exhibit at 8 reels, but we only have 5 reels left that has been preserved. And it's one of the few of that time period that actually was preserved and that we still have the film for.
Now tell us about the
61
star, Elmo Lincoln. How did that happen?
Elmo Lincoln, well, he went under several names before that. He had been around doing several for D.W. Griffith, and he went under Otto Lincoln Helm, Elmo Lincoln Helm. I mean, he did all these different names that he went under. Tarzan actually immortalized him as Elmo Lincoln. Before that, he went under several names.
And he was not the first choice.
No, well, they were negotiating with them because of his experience when a man named Stellan Spin
Windrow,
because he acted under the name of Winslow, which gets confusing, but his name was Windrow. He was 6'2", where Elmo Lincoln was like 5'10 and a half, something like that, and Elmo Lincoln weighed more. He was but they came in and said, okay, no, they signed him immediately. He started doing the filming, and they started up doing they wanted the film of the tree shots. They were trying to work out in the books.
Now this was no stunt man that was doing the.
No stunt man. No, this was
so
him
he
doing
was
everything. He was up in the
swinging
trees.
from tree to
He
tree.
was the Tom Cruise of 1918.
Yeah, he was in the trees doing everything. So he went for several weeks doing his filming. And this is in it was actually in 1970. The end of 1970, they were doing the filming. They released it January of 1918.
Okay.
But he was called to active duty for World War I.
Right.
So they literally sat him down, paid him $1,000 to not be credited in the film, and went back to bring in Elmo Lincoln, who was they had negotiated with to begin with.
Wow.
But Elmo Lincoln was scared of heights. If you watch the film, you have a tall, skinnier Tarzan swinging in the films, but a shorter, heavier Elmo Lincoln for all the close-up shots.
That's crazy.
So, anyway.
So, that dates it. They lost their star to World War I.
Yes.
Wow.
Can you imagine the producer? What?
Yeah. That could be an issue.
But I could see that intercutting, because you're not going to lose those shots you already shot.
Yes.
They shot for 5 weeks.
But speaking of losing shots, we've lost films, right? I mean, again, so many silent films are gone.
Yes.
So many just films in general, feature films before what year?
Well, silent films, all 90% is present. 90% of all silent films made in the U.S. are lost forever. It's really much higher than that because that's feature films. They don't include all the shorts. Then 50% of all feature films before 1951 are already lost forever. They're gone. There is no finding them. There is no anything.
Right.
That's when safety film came out.
I see.
So all the old nitrate films, when they sit into canisters, they were, number one, they were highly flammable.
Yeah.
They would catch on, but they deteriorate and become just carbon.
Wow.
So even if you were able to save and preserve it,
right?
You know, they basically, if you've got to move it out of that context to be able to do it.
Well, speaking of preservation, that's extremely important and something that we need to do here in Louisiana to preserve our film history.
Definitely.
And in fact, maybe we should take a minute to look at some of the fun stuff that you brought along today.
Oh, love to.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hey, movie lovers, stay tuned. Wednesday night at the movies, we'll be right back. Popcorn time. Welcome back, movie lovers. I'm Latangela Faye. This is Wednesday Night at the Movies, presented by the Louisiana Film Channel. What a great show we've had so far. And now, settle in with your favorite movie snacks, and let's pick up where we left off before the break.
What I love about Ed and Sue is they have the coolest stuff. When I say coolest stuff, they've got memorabilia, posters, things going back to the early days of filmmaking in Hollywood, but especially filmmaking in Louisiana.
Yes.
And when we're talking about filmmaking in Louisiana, again, no collection is complete without the Tarzan of the Apes from Oregon City. And again, now these, let's be honest, these are reproductions.
These are reproductions. The originals are
right.
very expensive.
Right.
Normally a reproduction, even of the half sheet like this,
right.
will run $30,000 to $50,000.
$30,000 to $50,000.
This is actually a copy of the only known one to exist left.
So everybody go look in your attics to see if there's a Tarzan of the Apes poster up there
and
somewhere.
Call me.
Yeah, and call that if you find one. That's right. Did you actually again, you'll do appraisals for Sotheby's
yes.
and some of these auction houses. Yeah,
yeah. We appraise more for the dealers or collectors.
Right.
We normally will teach auction houses how to do and be able to do the markings, and then they'll give a general estimate and then let whatever the auction price, they'll base it on other auction prices.
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's take Tarzan, for example. Okay, so which one of these would be the first poster that they released?
The first poster they would release would be this one. This is the one sheet from 1918.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what this one, the larger one there, is as well.
Right.
This was toured all over the country for the one sheet. A one sheet was normally 27 by 41 inches.
Okay.
So it's a nice size for them to be able to put on the front of the movie theater.
And beautiful artwork.
Beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
Then this was the 3 sheet. This isn't quite proportional because we made reproductions of them.
I see.
This at a theater would be 41 by 81.
Jeez.
This was a monstrous piece to be able
You can't
to put
miss
outside.
that one, huh?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
And actually was made into 2 pieces.
Right.
It was so large for them to be able to print.
Gotcha.
Then this one, which is quite often seen, of Gordon Griffith instead, was re-released in 1921.
Okay.
They came back and put him on the re-release poster.
Ah, okay. Going after a different audience. Maybe.
Right.
Interesting. Well, and so this right here, tell me about that.
All right. This was a half sheet.
Okay.
We actually were able to find a collector that had this piece. It was sent to us, and while I had it, we made a full scan of it.
Wow.
Because we knew we wouldn't be able to lay our hands on another one.
Sure.
It's only one known, and we then moved it to a museum who could afford it, where we couldn't afford to be able to keep it.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
We need a museum for some of this stuff. And again, this is kind of what we might see, right? If we were going to the movies in
that's
1918,
what you would see. Yes.
Right, yeah. That's gorgeous. So like I said, look in your attics.
Yeah.
In the trucks. But look, we got to talk a little bit about your books. I mean, there's a collection of Ed and Susan Poole books here. So let's talk about which is your first one?
This is our Louisiana books.
Yeah.
Actually, our first Louisiana book isn't even in here.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
We've done 7,
Yeah.
but this is the main one. It's called Louisiana Film History.
That's the one I have on my coffee table.
From 1896. This goes through 2015 and does a breakdown by decade, and then does a little stories of the major pieces and so forth there.
Right.
Then we did one on women in Louisiana films.
That's a hot topic right now.
So heroin to hussy. Oddly enough, we found more hussy movies than we found heroin movies.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
But still.
But I understand reproductions of Louisiana Husky poster are actually pretty popular.
That's the most
number one
popular.
seller.
Yeah. By far.
I can't explain that. Okay, so what is this?
This one's Crescent City
I've never seen
Cinema.
it. Oh, nice.
This one we did actually for Historic New Orleans Collection when they were doing exhibit.
Right.
This is 96 posters, full-page color posters of New Orleans,
All New Orleans films. That's
These were
amazing.
all made in or about New Orleans.
Wow.
Then we brought Louisiana plantations, reel to reel. We do 38 plantations.
Right.
A little brief history of each plantation and what films were made there.
So I would imagine for tourists that would be invaluable.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Then this one we just released not too long ago. Most people don't realize that Louisiana had the very first movie theater in the United States in 1896, Vitascope Hall, there at 623 Canal Street in New Orleans.
We're going to have to do a whole show on that one.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That
isn't it?
started the movie theater industry.
And it started in New Orleans.
In New Orleans,
Tell you
yes.
something.
All the way back.
We've got a very long, proud history.
In fact, the people think that the cover is sort of odd. At that time in 1896, they were going around to parks, and most of them were on the water.
Really?
And this was actually a copy of we have the original from 1900 of the poster. It was a generic poster. They didn't start putting titles on movie posters until 1910. But in 1900, the first known movie poster in Louisiana, this is the picture of it.
Right.
All we did was change the title. In our office, we have the original 1900 poster,
oh my gosh.
of that one.
All right. Well, I hope you got a good insurance policy on that. That's got to be worse.
I have a wife. She did it.
That's important. Well, Ed, thank you so much for you and Sue for coming up.
A pleasure.
I mean, you're fascinating. I mean, again, we're just scratching the surface on the history here. I can promise you we will be doing this again and again.
We'd love to enjoy it.
All right. Well, we'll be talking some more about the history in future episodes, and so we'll be right back.
Hey, movie lovers, stay tuned. Wednesday night at the movies, we'll be right back. Popcorn time. I hope you're joining our conversation live on Twitter right now. We want you to comment on all of this. Now, each week here on the Louisiana Film Channel, we have a special called On Location, produced by Jamie Freeman. I can't wait to see where she takes us this week. Here is On Location.
Welcome to On Location in Louisiana. What do you get when you combine 2 vacant big box stores, a couple of creative people, and a little imagination? The Ranch Studios in Chalmette, Louisiana, located just 20 minutes away from the French Quarter. Now let's go chat with the head of possibilities, Jason Wagensback.
The Ranch Film Studios is in the heart of Chalmette, Louisiana, right outside of New Orleans. We sit on 25 acres of property. We have over 250,000 square feet of production space. My name is Jason Wagensback. I'm the head of possibilities, also known as the CEO of the Ranch Film Studios in Chalmette, Louisiana. So the ranch actually was formed out of 2 former big box stores. We took over a former Lowe's facility, Lowe's Home Improvement, which is about a 150,000 square foot building, and divided it into 4 spaces, 3 sound stages and a large mill. Sits on about 8 acres. We also took over a former Save-A-Center grocery store and converted it into 2 sound stages, a 34,000 square foot sound stage and a 15,000 square foot flex space, which doubles as a mill. We've had Terminator Genesis with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which you may have seen or heard of. We did the television series The First, which was done with Sean Penn. Again, we provide over 250,000 square feet of space. So if you can imagine one large project, one large feature film coming to this area, provides almost 500 to 1,000 jobs just in this area, not including all the other locations that they're going to be going to. So you're having 1,000 to 2,000 people potentially working in this environment that are leaving here, going to the gas stations, the grocery stores, the mom and pop shops. It becomes this massive ripple effect for this area. Currently, we have 2 large episodic series that are here, one from the Disney Channel and another from CBS. The future of the ranch we see is very bright. We feel that content is about to be, basically is about to explode. We feel like that there is going to be a thirst for content that cannot be quenched because of the amount of projects, the amount of platforms, the amount of studios that are growing. And so we've invested in this parish. We've gone out, we've bought another piece of property that's the same size here. We have a 27-acre piece of property that we're looking to build towards the future. And so in doing that, we're trying to create another space where we're going to bring in not only film and television, but we're going to bring in content creators in the esports world, the gaming world, the tech world, the music world, all into one space to allow for that incubation to happen. All of these creators want to be around each other. We've noticed that in our 6 years of business here in Chalmette, Louisiana. And by providing that diversity inside of a space, we feel that we're going to not only obviously grow our business, but grow this area and have a massive impact for not only the greater New Orleans area, but hopefully the state of Louisiana to really look forward to the future.
A little imagination goes a long way here at the ranch.
Join the conversation now, live on Twitter. Meet the cast and get the details on Louisiana Film Channel swag. Twitter alert now at #LAFilmChannel.
Now let's get an update on what's happening around the state.
At this time, film production in the state of Louisiana is on hold. Organizations like the Louisiana Entertainment Office, the Louisiana Film Entertainment Association, and other groups are putting together safety protocols to protect our cast and our crews. Right now, content is king. The demand for content is so high that when we are able to get up and running in Louisiana, we're going to see a boom of film productions and great things happening in our economy. Stay tuned for more information in future episodes of On Location in Louisiana.
Well, that's a wrap on this week's show. Watch for our app coming December 1st to all platforms, including Apple TV, Android, Chromecast, and more. I'm LaTangela Faye for Louisiana Film Channel. Thank you for joining me for this week's field trip, and I'll see you on the red carpet.